Joining us now, the first Republican woman elected to Congress from South Carolina, Congresswoman-elect Nancy Mace. Thank you so much. Congratulations on being that first. You were also the first female graduate of the Citadel Corps of Cadets. What is it about you and what message does it send that you keep tackling pretty historic firsts?
Yeah, well, it's, I guess something in the water, but it just says that women are breaking glass ceilings for decades, for generations, and we still have a long ways to go. I was just elected as the first Republican woman in Congress to the state of South Carolina. So we've got many more ceilings to break. And it's not just Democrat women who've been breaking glass ceilings, but Republican women, too, are breaking barriers, and we've been doing it all of our life.
Congresswoman-elect, you have talked a lot about wanting to reach across the aisle and work with your Democratic colleagues. What are some of the things you would like to find some common ground on?
Well, we're going to disagree on 80% of the things. And I think when you look at the record turnout that we had this year on both sides of the aisle, Republican and Democrat, turnout between 70 and 75% this election cycle, it's a referendum on Congress finding some ways that we can work together, finding some common ground, maybe with some common sense. On environmental policy, there are Republicans that want to work with Democrats, whether it's to work on issues like offshore drilling or conservation and land trusts, those types of issues. Even on social issues. As a state lawmaker, I passed a prison reform bill into law in the middle of COVID, and that was a process where I had completely 100% unanimous support from Democrats and Republicans alike, supporting our small businesses, supporting our working families, supporting our kids, like my kids. My kids haven't seen the inside of a school since March, but supporting our children and their education during this crisis should all be things that we can work together on in the future, at least in the short term, and at least I hope in the 117th Congress. This is a referendum for us to start working together.
As you talk about the COVID crisis, you dealt with a pretty nasty bout of COVID yourself, and even had ongoing and lingering effects of it. I'd like to ask you first just how you're doing, how your health is now, and how that experience kind of informs you moving forward as being a part now of the government and helping to rid this crisis.
I classify myself as a long hauler. So you can read these stories about long haulers who've taken weeks and sometimes months to get over COVID-19. And, it's really incumbent upon us as elected leaders, as leaders in our community, our churches, our businesses, even to our neighbors, to set a good example and look out for each other. I wear my mask everywhere that I go, and I stay distant from folks and wash my hands constantly to be a good example for others, because we're all seeing this surge right now. And I do believe if we can continue to at least keep it back a little bit and not go any higher than we are right now. At least in South Carolina, we've done a really good job of balancing our health and our safety and getting people back to work. That's really important, that people are able to pay their rent and put food on the table for their children, get them to school if they're in school, or be there for them when they have needs. This is a really difficult time, and it should be taken very seriously, particularly for those that have serious cases. Very pleased to see Operation Warp Speed getting vaccinations out to our frontline workers. We're going to need to be very supportive of folks in our 60 and older communities and our nursing homes. They should be next and be getting that support so that we can, slow the spread of this very debilitating, in some cases, disease.
Well, we're excited to see what you do. We love that attitude. Congresswoman-elect Nancy Mace, thank you. We know you're very busy. We're glad you recovered, but we're so happy you were here with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.